and welcome to the Generational Talk Show. My name is Sid Heller.
And I am Olivia De Laurentiis.
This is a class where we talk to women of all different generations about their experiences.
Being a woman and like all the stuff that goes with that.
So today we're talking about slang.
Everything from heavy petting to
excuse me, mommy, sorry, mommy?
Yeah.
Sorry, mommy?
Language shapes culture and stuff, and every generation has different language
And
they
how
use.
are we going to talk to each other if we can't understand
We
shit?
have to bridge the gap. Thank you guys so much for coming today. Really appreciate all of you here.
So today we want to ask you guys some questions about slang. Does everybody here use slang?
I'd imagine so.
I do, but I mean, people overuse it. But
Yeah. Okay, here's a general question at 1st. Do you guys have trouble understanding people from different generations because of slang they use?
Sometimes, yes. Yes.
Sometimes, but I feel like I like to be hip to
Yeah.
what's going on.
Right.
What
right.
are words that you didn't necessarily understand at first and you were like, oh, I'll look that up later?
The labels for like stud, stem, I'm like, what is that? And I had to
Yes.
learn that in my mid-30s, the difference between those slang terms.
That's true,
in the
because
lesbian community.
for every community, there's a huge set of slang terms that like people not in that community might not know. That's
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
I learned that in my 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to define one or two of them for our audience?
You know, like, I mean, obviously, like, a femme is like
Yeah.
a lipstick lesbian, a stem is in between.
Okay.
And then stud is like, well, a stud can be an androgynous woman, but androgynous women sometimes like to put themselves in a separate category because studs is a little more like, swag and
I love that.
homeboy, like, vibes.
I love that. When I was younger, my mom, when she would describe certain like, I don't know, she would describe if we were ever having like a sex talk, she would always reference heavy petting. And to this day, I'm not 1,000% sure what that means. I think it's a blowjob, maybe it's a hand job. I don't know which one it is.
I think it's dry humping.
No, I don't think it is. I think it has to do with the pants and either this guy or this guy.
No.
I think it does.
I've never heard of that.
What's
right.
heavy petting, Gina?
Do you know it?
Heavy petting to me is touching for a long period of time.
What about like when people go beat the face? I'm like, you trying to abuse me?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
it's
beat your face.
getting your face
To
like with
makeup.
makeup
Yeah.
and glamour,
Yeah,
but beat
yeah.
the face. Like,
That's-
I don't like that slang.
It's not a great.
But that's a slang.
Yeah.
That's not
term.
cool.
You know what's
Yeah.
another hard thing is my grandmother is 97 and
Yes.
speaks 6 languages, and
Yes.
she also makes up words. So sometimes
That's hard.
she'll say things that are either from a language I don't know or something she made up, and
Yeah.
then I'll think, oh, that's a real term we all say. It's just like Yiddish or something. And then
Yeah.
my dad years later has to go, it's not a real word. Like for the longest time, like my grandma would say things like, don't get like verschnooked, and I'd be like, oh, wait, that must be Yiddish for drunk.
Oh,
And then one
nice.
day my dad was like, no, that's made up by
That's
grandma.
that's nothing for nothing.
I can relate with you on
There
that.
you go.
Actually, now
Yeah.
that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
my grandma has a lot of words that I'm like, what the hell did you just say? But I know what it means.
Yeah.
So,
So give us a grandma word.
like, she says, like, a lot of weird things. Like, she'll say, that's that old pumpkin goose. And I'm like, well, what
That's
the heck?
that old pumpkin goose.
Yeah, and I'm
Hell
like,
yeah, love
and I'm
that.
like, oh, what's that old pumpkin goose? And she's like, you know, like, it's basically that's that shit. Like, that's the shit right there. And I'm like, okay, well,
That's that
Really?
old pumpkin
Oh,
goose.
I will
Yeah.
be saying that
That's the
always.
shit.
I will be
You
saying that
should.
every day
It's
for
a
the
good
rest of my
term.
life.
That's
It's a
that
good
old
term.
pumpkin goose.
Going back to the sexual stuff, like I think especially nowadays, like there's
Yeah.
so many kind of things that people are newly open about.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
non-monogamy, like or like what is it called when it's like
polyamorous.
Polyamorous.
and like what you were saying about just like in the lesbian community and like
Yes.
in the drag community,
It's
there's so much
very,
fun stuff.
very
Like
different.
and
And
I
the same at the same time.
And also I feel like the way we talk about sex acts have probably changed.
yeah.
I mean, I had an ex-girlfriend when she's about to climax, she'll go, I'm about to nut. And I'm like, I thought that's
Nut?
a thing a guy
That's
said.
so good.
And I was like, okay.
I love. Here's the thing I love
Cool.
about that. I love the idea of women appropriating nutting.
Yeah.
And I
I
think we
love
should
that.
all
I was
strive.
I think we all should. I
To-
think it's about to.
I'm
Gina,
gonna
are
say
you
I'm gonna
familiar with
nut.
that term?
No.
Oh, to nut
No,
means
to
to
nut, no.
ejaculate semen.
Yeah.
Usually.
Because men always say that
Which
when I
makes
was
total
with men.
sense.
Yeah,
If they were to say it, I'd read the language. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
they're
"Oh, shut
not.
up."
Gina, When you were like a teenager or whenever you started being sexually active, what were like the things people said in the bedroom?
Nothing, actually.
No one said anything? Just
Not really. It's just like maybe
Just silence.
Just breathing?
Yeah.
All right.
Breathing, a lot of kissing. And, yeah. I may come soon. That sort of
Nice.
thing.
I may.
Okay.
Come.
I may come
May,
soon.
just may.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very polite way of saying that.
Polite way. Yeah.
If it's convenient for everyone else, I may come soon. Okay, so the thing about slang is it's more than just like what we're talking about and what we're saying. It like shapes what you do and like culture and stuff. So let's talk about courtship, right? Because I feel like for every generation, like dating has kind of had different language that has actually affected what the dating is like. Like for example, it used to be like going steady, right?
Yeah.
Which to me infers like a steady, comfortable, stable commitment between two people.
But now
We're
I feel
texting.
like
We've been seeing each other.
there are different
We're
stages.
talking. Oh my god, I love what she's about
So
to do. Okay, here we go.
timeline of being with somebody
In modern slang.
starts with
Yes.
what term do we start with? Gen Z.
Talking.
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 yes.
Yeah, we're talking.
And then we go to
We're sleeping together.
We're hanging out
Or okay.
or we're texting.
oh, you move fast.
Well, I mean, after talking, I realized I want to sleep with you. After
Valid
knowing I
talking.
can-
We are
Yeah.
sleeping together.
yeah,
I get it.
absolutely.
Hooking up.
I think,
We're hooking up.
talking is
Hooking up.
hooking up basically.
Oh,
for my
talking.
generation.
Yeah. In Gen Z,
Yeah, in
talking
Gen
means
Z-
we're fucking.
Yeah.
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 And does texting mean the same thing?
To me, no, because it's
No.
really.
So
Yeah.
texting might comes first. So I'm texting this person.
Yeah, and sending
And
sexy
then I'm
photos
talking to this
and-
person.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Put a little
texting,
bit
I think,
before.
yeah, texting would be before talking.
Extend
Yeah.
the beginning of that. Yeah.
True.
Beautiful, Sid.
I agree.
Thank you.
Because it starts with just conversing and a couple
Yeah.
sexy photos.
Yeah,
and a
absolutely.
couple-
Texting means essentially we're doing the flirty datey thing through mostly digital.
Right.
And FaceTiming is next.
FaceTime.
We're
Very
texting
true.
means we're talking. We're talking means we're fucking.
Yeah.
And we're FaceTiming means we're FaceTiming.
We're having
Well, no,
FaceTime
FaceTiming's before the fucking part.
Yeah.
Because the texting turns into, can I FaceTime you? Because I've been through this.
And-
Can I
Yeah.
FaceTime you? I'm like, yeah.
They wanna
Yeah,
see.
do you
got
abide by these
FaceTiming
rules as
up here.
well?
Yeah.
I love
That's
that for you.
all in alignment, and then there's the hooking up afterward.
Okay, yeah, and then
which
we've
to
got-
me, the hooking up is the having sex.
Yeah. Okay. And then that's another
We just
thing.
hooked up.
Hooking up
Yeah.
can mean anything.
Literally.
Yeah.
But it means more casual.
It can mean anything. Oh, it definitely means more
Yeah.
casual, but it can mean sex. It can mean we made out. It can mean like we did everything but penetration. It can mean so many things that when
Yeah.
you say we're hooking up,
Oh no.
What does hooking up mean to a Gen Z person?
Well, for like my generation, hooking up is like, yeah, you're probably having sex.
Yeah.
But every time I hear like another generation refer to it, like
Yeah.
maybe for your generation, I feel like if my mom was like, you guys are hooking up, I think she would know.
Yeah.
But like I feel like for your generation, like when I hear people in your generation, they'll be like, oh yeah, you guys hooking up, and I'm like, no, we did not just go have sex. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
So
when
yeah, I
my-
think
when
like
my
hooking up's like
generation
hooking up, like
says-
literally you're just hooking up, like you're making
Yeah.
out or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or-
when my generation says I'll hook you up, it usually
Yeah.
it means
Yeah.
I'll connect the 2
I'll
of you.
you guys are
And I used to
connected.
get the eyes looked at. It's like, no, I don't want you guys to have sex.
I think,
So I have to watch how I
Yeah.
use
I
it.
think my
Yeah.
parents have said things like, oh, well, we should all hook up later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meet up.
We should all
that's
fuck
true.
later.
Yeah, right.
No, it's,
Yeah.
it's funny. I feel like when I was in middle school and early high school, I would hear hooking up as, oh, like, you know, essentially they made out up to everything but having sex. And then I think a few years later, it was kind of used purely for having sex, which is
Yeah.
interesting because it's
Yeah.
changed very quickly.
So when you start dating and you're like going on dates with somebody, but you're not boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend yet.
Now,
What is that term called?
You can still say dating.
you can,
Yeah.
but I'd say before that, it might even be hanging out
Or we're
or seeing each other.
I feel like seeing each other is more
Is more serious than dating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dating
it's
then seeing each other
weird.
means you're like your eyes are on each other
Okay,
all the
I'm
time.
gonna go
Yeah.
with hanging out.
I think, seeing is a little
Is
more.
what stages of relationships are everybody in?
I'm in we just said the L word last week.
Oh my god!
So you guys are together.
Oh my god!
I think
Congratulations!
so.
I
I don't know,
This is what's
I don't know
crazy.
how this works anymore because
Thank you, because
we were casual
nice.
and then now we said
You're
I love
married
you.
now.
Yeah.
You're married.
And
but
so-
you said I love you before. You're like, do you want to be girlfriends?
Right.
Yeah, we haven't
Oh.
said
Yeah.
that, but in my mind, I feel like she is.
I had
my
a
girlfriend.
I had like
Yeah.
my current boyfriend. We said I love you like a month or two before we were like, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah. So there's no
Wow.
rule that okay now we're just.
Yeah, it's
but
so
I'm
weird now.
monogamous. Like I'm not gonna sleep
Right.
with anyone else.
We also use "I love you" very loosely as well,
That's very true.
because it's. I mean,
sometimes,
do
yeah.
you know who you are in order to love somebody? You know, and even just
Yeah.
saying "I love you," it's just a very loosely used
it's
word.
levels.
Yeah,
'Cause
Gina,
I'm not
I
in
met you
love.
today and
levels.
told you I loved you already. So
Yeah.
But I mean,
So-
but it's a different kind of love. It's like
it is, it's
we're
different.
getting to know each other on a deeper
Love
level.
you or
of-
in love?
Are
is
you
two
guys
different
in
things.
love?
I'm gonna get to that point.
You're
We've
falling.
only been dating for 2 months. To be
You're
honest.
falling.
Right.
You're
You
feeling the
love.
fall.
Yeah,
You
so I
love.
just love her energy. I just love conversing, and I want to
Yeah.
get to know her on a deeper level.
Got it.
and
I
she
love
feels
that.
way.
Right.
So then, what would you say you two are? Like, how would you describe
Well, I mean, I like to say we're girlfriend and girlfriend, but you know,
that? Okay, there we go. I love
we're
that.
gonna find out.
What stage of anything are
Report
you in?
back.
Or are you
I've
single?
been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 2 years. So
Okay, perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a long
So you
time.
would just say,
So
I'm in a
you're
relationship.
like
Yeah.
hanging out.
yeah, we're really hanging out.
Okay, great. What's up with you, Gina?
I date several men.
I fucking
Okay.
love that for you.
Yes. Do I get another star? Oh my gosh.
You're like
No,
you're
you
like
know,
the
I
star.
feel there are certain people in my life that it really have a passion for doing certain activities, and so that's the people I go out to. Like if I have a theater person, I have a dinner person, I have
A sex person.
sex person,
I
sex
like that.
people.
Sex
But,
people. I
yeah,
love that.
so it's like I like to be with people that really enjoy a certain activity or a certain type of entertainment, and
I
then I can
love that.
really have
Oh,
a
yeah.
wonderful time with them.
That's a
I love
really good
that.
idea.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea.
That's so fun. You're
great.
just like existing and like being like,
Yeah.
hey, if you like this
Yeah.
activity, I'll
I like
hang
to
out with
flow
you. but
and do.
That's so cool.
Do you
That's
have like
awesome.
a certain amount of people in the Rolodex and you're like, I don't top that number, it's too much for me?
No,
Do
'cause
people
I
filter
usually
in
I
and
usually
out?
know when my spare time is or when I want to do certain things. So,
Yeah. Do people
plan it
filter
all out.
in and out, or is it a set group of people? You think?
Lately floating in and out because
love
I've
that
just
for you.
been looking at different activities to do. So.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
love
was doing
having
that
a person.
before the L word,
Yeah.
like dating around.
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
people,
Yeah.
other women.
Yeah,
So.
I don't think there's anything
Yeah.
wrong with that. I mean,
No, not
you
at
should
all.
test the
Not at all.
waters.
you try your shoes on before you buy
Absolutely.
them, right?
Absolutely.
You
My
don't
mom always says you test drive the car before you buy it.
Right.
My mom always says you want to. My mom is like always like date a bunch of different types of people, so that like you can experience a bunch of things, and then when you decide you know what you want,
Yep.
like she was like, when you go shopping, if you just don't know what you want, you're gonna get so many things and take them home and be like, what the fuck did I? Why did I get all
Right.
these? And if you go out and you're like, I need a little black dress that's like sleeveless or blah 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 blah, and you go, you can get the exact thing you're looking for once you've kind of been to them all a few times.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
But it also gets me to help understand what I'm really looking for. too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
That's why I
each time I
encourage,
go
like-
through, it's just
Yeah.
like I'm looking for something a little bit different or a different phase in my life. Things are things are more important or less important.
I
to
love
me,
that.
so.
I
That's
agree.
awesome.
So then is your plan kind of, you're like, I'm gonna shop around and I don't need to have one specific thing, I can just keep shopping.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying.
So we've
love
got,
that.
we're texting, we're FaceTiming, we're talking, we're hanging out, and then we're what? We're dating?
We're
Yeah, that's when
together.
you said dating was.
Yeah,
right?
dating, yeah.
Okay, so then after we're
Dating.
dating, then are we in a relationship? Okay.
That's usually how it is supposed to be.
Yeah, then we're in a relationship.
Dating and then relating.
Dating, relating.
Like I'm not having sex with anyone else. I can still hang out and have friends, but
Okay.
no physical with anyone else.
Right,
Like,
right,
that's-
Yeah.
And then once you're in a relationship, after that, you're dead?
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanna, you know, keep the spike
The
spark
door's
going,
closed.
maybe, and later
It's been a
on,
long time
invite
since I've done that, so
a threesome.
somebody tell me, what happens? You're in a relationship, then you what? You get engaged or something?
You can, but I would say still build a foundation and try some fun things with your
Yeah.
partner, and
Yeah.
maybe a threesome
Always
in the future.
have
I
fun.
don't know, something, you know,
So fun.
right? Just build.
Mix
I
it up.
also put this here just for fun,
Nice.
just because it's fun. I guess trend-wise, like what's something from your generation you feel like people older than you might not understand?
Honestly, like the inside jokes that our generation, your guys' cusp generation, I guess.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
assuming you guys know it.
Yeah.
Like
Cusp.
we have a lot of inside jokes that are
That's
like
true.
like hard to understand and they're very like what's the word? Dark, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Like we have a lot of dark inside jokes
Absolutely.
that if
Love
we
dark
said to like an older generation, they don't really understand, which kind of works in our advantage.
Yeah.
So you kind of gotta like, I think our generation's really smart with our jokes.
Yeah, I also
Yeah.
feel like every joke kind of develops into like a joke on a joke on a joke on a joke to the point where like Big Chungus was in the new Space Jam, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like how could you explain that?
Yeah.
It's from
Chungus was the best.
it's from how that it would take 20 minutes to explain. We totally could.
Yeah.
We could get into it.
And I think there's also with Gen Z something kind of like ironic about it, of like, you know, people make fun of Gen Z for being really sensitive to certain things.
Yeah.
And so then Gen Z will make
Cancel
fun of
culture.
themselves for being
Right.
sensitive to
Yeah.
things and say things like, I'll unalive myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trigger warning, I'm not going to say that, but I'll unalive myself. If
Yeah.
I want, you know what I mean?
Or
Like,
I'll go
That's
die
true.
in a river.
I'll go
Yeah,
down
I'll
a
go,
river.
yeah, absolutely.
It was kind of a preppy thing in my generation, or it was more about names and you know, Biff and Buff and so on, and then you personifying the actual, you know, character that you felt that the name represented.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
That's-
so it was very inside. It was very inside.
I love the generational inside jokes.
Yeah.
Inside.
Biff and Buff.
Yeah. I mean,
What
I
is
know-
Biff and Buff?
Yeah.
It's just like these just preppy names.
So like if you saw two preppy people, you'd be like, that's totally Biff and Buff.
Would I say,
or like
would I
people
say
were
like,
actually
this
named
plant
that?
is Biff?
We would actually be named that.
And
we
so
would
they-
personify, we'd create a character around a preppy name, and that would be the energy we'd carry, or
Interesting.
the personality that we would assume when we were around each other in a group.
Okay,
Interesting.
okay, okay, got it. So,
Muffy.
for example, okay, so it is your Sasha Fierce.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
You understand. Do you know Sasha Fierce?
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
Sasha Fierce.
Yes.
Just checking.
Yeah, it's I mean, honestly, too, like as far as generation, I come from like a religious strict background on my dad's side from the South, so they don't quite understand this whole labeling of sexuality. They're like,
Ooh,
like
yeah,
the
how's that
and
been?
also genders like non-binary, or they don't understand like queer, and they're just like, if you're gay, you're gay. But I'm like, no, like they're like, I don't understand. How are you able to be with this gender and then this gender? It's like, but didn't you guys do that in the 60s? But I guess they didn't.
Yeah.
Apparently,
They
the people
labeled
are
it
so free
differently.
Or they blocked
in the
it out.
60s and 70s, but they don't quite
Yeah.
understand. My dad still doesn't understand. He's like, I just don't understand why you chose this. I'm like, you don't have to understand.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, the
Interesting.
biggest point is you don't have to understand. You
They
just go
don't
like,
get
that's
it.
okay. Like
Yeah.
whatever. It's funny because a thing I've seen a lot on the internet
Yeah.
is older generations not refusing to say they them and being
Right,
like,
yeah.
I just
They
picked
don't get
one. I
it.
don't want to say they them. And then
Yeah.
there'll be people being like, you know, there's like a story I read where someone was like, I found a wallet on the ground, and then I returned it to the person. They were really happy, and yeah, they became friends with me. And now you know that you can refer to someone as they and them, and it's a singular person,
Yep.
and you just heard me do it, and it didn't sound weird.
Yes.
Like, and it
But
was,
they
it's
don't
just-
understand.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. 'cause
alien
it's like,
space to them. Like,
it's a pronoun I use for singular people, just describing. Like if I don't, I'm like, oh yeah, they were so nice. Like
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's so easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
And
weird.
my
it's
and I
becoming
didn't-
easier with this generation
Yeah.
versus back then.
Okay, class, it is time for a pop quiz. I'm gonna hand out some of these.
Pencil. I haven't used one of these in a while.
Yep, it's time for pencils.
I've been taking a quiz for a while.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read each question. You're gonna have a couple seconds to answer on your own on your paper, and then we'll go around the room and see what the real answer is.
So question one.
Trisha posts a picture of her hot ass dump truck on the gram. You comment A, nice picture, Trisha. B, Trisha, we should hang out soon. C, excuse me, mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry, mommy.
Bill.
D, Trisha, cover up, my kids are on this app. Okay, let's start with Gen Z. What do you think is the answer to number one?
See.
Okay, C, excuse me, mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry, mommy. Millennial, what is the answer to one?
B.
B, Trisha, we should hang out soon.
Straight to the point.
Okay? And what do you think?
D.
D, Trisha, cover up, my kids are on this app.
Now this is kind of a trick question because honestly they're all valid answers.
No, they're not. The
Yeah.
answer is C. Excuse me, mommy. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy.
Why
is
don't you
what
say that
would
9
say.
more times?
That's what you say to Trisha. When Trisha posts a picture of her dump truck on the gram, we have to let her know that she's a mommy.
Yeah. All right. Well,
She's definitely a mom.
well, there
She's a
we go.
mommy.
All right, question number 2. Bippy. And now these are from different generations. Bippy is to cake, as hanky panky is to A, crimping, B, porking, C, breadcrumbing, D, dumping. That's a hard one.
And it's good to remember this stuff for the SAT.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's start with Gina.
Breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing.
Okay. Okay.
I put porking.
Okay.
Porking.
Okay.
I also put porking.
And the answer is porking.
So, just to clarify all these words, bippy is a 1960s term for butt, as in that girl has a bippy. Cake is a more modern term for butt, like
Yeah,
show me
that's
that
true.
cake.
She's got some cake.
Hanky panky is a 1960s term for sex
Yeah.
or fooling around.
That's
and
right.
crimping, is that just crimping hair?
Crimping is crimping your hair.
Okay. Porking is
Bucking.
banging.
Yeah. That's right.
Breadcrumbing is when someone is in a situationship or a relationship with someone and they kind of start to ghost, but they leave little pieces of hope for you to pick up on as a tactic of emotional manipulation,
And-
whether or not that's intentional.
And dumping is shitting.
Or breaking up with someone.
Or shitting.
Okay?
Shitting.
All right. Question number 3.
Which
Oh,
is,
I love this one.
Which is not a 17th century phrase for to have sex.
Can we go back and forth on this one?
Can we read
I
that
love
again?
this
Yes.
one. Okay.
A. To play at rantum scantum.
B. To play at rump scuttle and clapperty pouch.
C. To dance the kipples.
D. To dance for a fiddling farmer. This is actually going to be the hardest one because
They all sound
no
the
one's
same.
from the 17th century.
Which
here.
is not
Which
a
is
17th
not.
century phrase.
Only one of these phrases is not real. The rest of them mean sex in the 17th century.
Wow.
Who thinks they have it? Anybody?
I put but that's not
Yeah.
to dance the kipples.
All right.
Okay.
To dance the
Doesn't-
kipples.
Sounds like it wouldn't.
Right.
It doesn't sound sexy to you.
None of these do, but that one just doesn't seem like it's a term that they would use.
All of these sound very sexy to me. Gina?
B.
To play at rump scuttle and clapperty pouch.
Okay. And what do
That's
you think?
valid. That's a valid
I
answer.
said B as well.
To play at rump scuttle and clapperty pouch. Well, unfortunately,
Well,
the
it is-
answer is actually
It is not to dance the kipples. It is not to play at rump, scuttle, and clapperty pouch. It is not to play at rantum scantum. The answer
one
is
we made up.
to dance for a fiddling farmer.
We made that one up, and the rest of them are real. So that's crazy. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to class.
You
You
all
guys
did amazing.
You were amazing. Let's give you guys some awards.
You get tampons.
Thank you.
You get
for all the
tampons.
awards.
You get tampons. Anybody want pads?
Oh,
no.
Tampons are good.
Oh,
Tampons are
sleep,
good.
you know.
nice. Hell yeah.
I wanna
Yeah,
sleep
kick,
with the
kick
tampon.
those pads over.
Yeah.
That's how you want it.
That's what-
On the floor, under
Thank
a
you.
foot. Oh, I hope everyone at home had so much fun, and I hope that everyone in the future gets to play Rantum Scantum with an absolute snack or a zaddy at some point.
Consensually.
Yes,
Consensually,
consensually,
obviously.
yes.
But yeah, this whole time I've been Olivia.
I've been sick.
And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing and having fun with us. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.